One of my first memories as a child was a funeral, my uncle's funeral. He was my mom's younger half-brother, addicted to ecstasy, and he took his own life. I didn't understand it at the time, but I knew he had killed himself because he thought no one loved him. I remember thinking it was my fault, because I had always been too shy and never wanted to play with him. That guilt stayed with me for a long time, even though I know now it wasn't true. At the funeral, I played a game with my sister and cousins called Inky Pinky Ponky. The rhyme we chanted ended with, "Donkey died, Daddy cried," and I hated it. I'd never had to cope with death before, and singing about a dead donkey at my uncle's funeral felt wrong. Death always scared me after that. I avoided movies where characters died and didn't even watch The Lion King until I was 16. I had this deep fear of hospitals, of going to sleep. It all felt too similar to dying. Then, when I was older, I found out about something I thought had just been a nightmare from my childhood. I'd had this recurring dream about a baby's funeral. One day, while going through old photos, I found a card. It was for a baby who had died, a baby I had attended the funeral for but didn't remember. The nightmare I'd had wasn't just a dream. I'd been at that funeral when I was 3, but it took years for that memory to resurface. As I grew older, I realized death surrounded me, but I never truly understood it. When I was 14, my aunt died of a brain tumor, and I watched my mom cry in a way I hadn't seen before. That day, an old clock we had stopped ticking. It was a clock from my mom's first marriage, a marriage she'd never told me about until that day. She explained that the clock had always stopped at the time someone close to her died, and she refused to put new batteries in it after that. And you know what? Since she took those batteries out, no one else in my family has died. Sometimes I wonder if that clock holds some power over time and death itself, but maybe, just maybe, it's just a broken clock.